Hey, if you like some of my NBA discussions here, make sure to subscribe to my other channel, which is original NBA content, which I post every week about different NBA topics. And yeah, it's a new channel, so make sure to support it. And yeah, hope you enjoy. Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we're reacting to a video from the man, the myth, the legend, basketball YouTuber Jonny Arnett, called the 6 greatest duos in NBA history. Now, this is a very interesting discussion because people always talk about their list of the greatest players of all time, but looking at the greatest duos of all time. So before we get into this, what would my list be overall? I think number one for me, it's hard because when you're talking about duos, are you talking about peak of the duo, or are you talking about like how much they accomplished? Because you know how much they accomplished. I think MJ and Pippen has to be number one, but I think as terms of how good they were as a duo, I think I have to put Kobe and Shaq as number one, as the best duo of all time. They won 3 straight championships, and in 01 and 02, they were really such a good, like the greatest 1-2 combo of all time, and it was actually insane. Honestly, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant were only together for 3 years, and the third year Kevin Durant got injured in the finals, but the 2 years they were together, you could argue that they were the second and third best players in the NBA, both on the same team. So honestly, if we're talking about just how good the duo is, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant has a good argument for number one, actually. So I'm not mad if you actually just say, at a peak of how good they were, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant number one. But I'd put Shaq and Kobe, because they were only together for 2 championships, I'd put Shaq, Kobe number one, MJ, Pippen number 2, then Curry, KD number 3. Then you can persuade me on a lot of other duos, you know, LeBron, D Wade, Magic Kareem has to be up there, 100%. Yeah, let's just see who he's gonna rank here. Yeah, leave your list in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with his picks or my picks. I'm gonna leave my commentary here. Obviously, go check out the original video. Go subscribe to my original NBA YouTube channel. Let's just get into it, man. No more yapping.
There is one rule to success that everyone must know in the NBA.
Hey, Jokic and Murray might
no
end up on this list soon.
Alone. Usually, it takes 2, if not more. Today, I'm breaking down my list of the top 6
LeBron
greatest
AD?
duos in NBA history.
Not top 6.
And let me tell you, creating this list is hard.
They're a really good duo,
Sure,
though.
you may know who your
It's a
top
very-
picks are.
It's a very good,
but ranking
very hard
certain
list.
duos above others can simultaneously feel justified
Oh, these
and
guys.
blasphemous. I'm sure many of you will be triggered
Curry
by
and
my
Clay, I mean, they're the more iconic duo because they've been together for all 4 championships, but Curry KD is the better duo.
rankings and by my omissions. So let me know in the comments how you're much smarter and how your list differs from mine. Starting off at number
Nice.
6, Larry Bird and Kevin McHale.
Not mad at it at all.
These two are
Not
the
mad.
biggest reason why the Boston
3
Celtics
championships there, right there.
dominated the Eastern.
Kevin McHale, very underrated. He gets overshadowed by Bird because, you know, Bird's so fucking good. But McHale was really fucking good. I mean, yeah, like, he was arguably the best, played better than Bird in some series.
Conference in the 1980s. What's truly special about this tandem is that you could argue that they're the 2 most all-around efficient scorers ever at their positions.
Nuts.
As Bird had a 5-season stretch where he had 50.
Did Jonny Arnett get a new editing software or something? He's doing all types of different editing here.
And Kevin McHale is one of the few players who shot 60% from
85 to 89, 50, 40, 90, 51, 40, 91. Insane. On 27 points a game, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. And 86 to 87, McHale shot 60% from the field and 84% from the free throw line. Insane combination with 26 points. Yeah, literally 1 point less than Larry Bird. That's actually insane. 10 rebounds and 2 blocks.
the field
Yeah.
and 80% from the free
Kevin
throw
McHale,
line
very
in
underrated.
the
Yeah, this
season.
definitely deserves to be here,
These were
100%.
their averages over their careers as teammates in Boston. And although they were
6
elite
all defense
offensively, they
for
were also a
McHale.
problem defensively, as Bird made a total of 3 all-defense teams and McHale made a total of 6. This tandem won 3 NBA championships and 5 finals appearances. And although Robert Parrish also had a significant impact for their success, make no mistake
Very nice.
that McHale was the second best player on that team during the peak of their success. Number 5, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade.
LeBron
In
and Wade,
reality,
really?
this duo won the fewest championships together out of any pairing in my top 6.
So he's not gonna have Curry and KD there. Then.
But the dominating fashion of their winning was enough to earn their spot.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this. I mean, they're two of the best players in the world at the time.
Of LeBron, Wade,
especially in like 2011 when Wade was arguably the best player because LeBron choked in the finals. People were saying, you know, is LeBron really the best player on the Heat?
And Chris Bosh had people referring to them as the Big Three Heat.
The Heatles.
But it didn't take very long for people to start treating them as a duo instead.
Honestly, I don't like the nickname the Heatles. Because it's not a big four. The Beatles type nickname should have been put to a big four. Okay. It should have been for a big four, not the big three.
These stars made it to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, Chris Bosh regressed more, especially because he was put back as more of a third option. So I mean, these two were a lot better than Bosh, obviously. But Bosh was an amazing third option. I mean, yeah, made the finals all 4 times, 2 championships.
And all 4 of their years as teammates in Miami. And they won the NBA championship in 2 of those instances. Easily, their most impressive run came in the 2012-2013 season.
Yeah, unanimous MVP LeBron,
won
nearly
27 straight regular season games, which is still the second longest streak in NBA history.
Well, behind the 72 Lakers.
A very underrated aspect of their success was their solid defense, as the Heat were a top 5 team in their...
Yeah, LeBron James, people don't talk about his fucking defense enough, man. 2013, he should have won... Arguably should have won Defensive Player of the Year. Dwayne Wade also one of the best defenders of his position ever.
First 2 years.
So yeah, this is a very underrated defensive duo. I didn't even think about all that. Yeah,
insane.
And
the players who deserve the most credit for that is obviously LeBron and Wade. These were the averages of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade over that memorable 4-season stretch.
27, 7-7, 2 steals, 54%. 22, 5-5, 2 steals, 51%. Yeah.
And honestly, based on their talent, they could have been even higher up the list if they had been teammates for a longer period of time.
Right.
Number 4, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
Steph and Klay.
The fact that possibly the 2 greatest shooters in NBA,
the greatest backcourt of all time
history, both play on the same team is pretty crazy.
Yeah. You could argue the first and second best shooters of all time play on the same team. It's nuts.
Obviously, their story is still being written. But even with plenty of basketball still ahead of them, they're securely on my list. As teammates, they've won 4 NBA championships, but just 1 Finals MVP, which
Klay, when he's hot, is the best basketball player of all time.
Does hold them back a bit on this list. These are the statistics of the 2 stars in their years as teammates. And although it's clear that Steph was always the better player, there's no question that Steph doesn't win his championships without Klay Thompson's 2-way efforts, and without his clutch Game 6 performances. Although Steph Curry is best described as a decent defender, Klay, on the other hand, is the ultimate example of a 3-and-D player.
Right.
As he has the 2019 All-Defense Team
3-and-D player
to go along with his lethal 3-point shooting. I can imagine that with 4 championships, I'm gonna receive some criticism for not ranking these 2 higher. But when you consider that Kevin Durant was there for half of them, and they only have 1 Finals
MVP, the duo was Steph Curry and
between
Kevin Durant for 2 of them.
You could certainly argue that there's a lot of other players who deserve a massive amount of credit outside of that tandem.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Number 3, Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
100%. The first 3 championships, this was like such an insane duo. Obviously, Kareem then went on to regress, but the first 3 championships, you had arguably 2 of the top 3 players in the NBA on the same team. It was absolutely nuts. It was absolutely nuts.
The instant Magic was drafted to the Lakers in 1979,
it became unfair.
He had the all-time great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as a teammate.
Literally the greatest center and the greatest point guard of all time on the same team.
With the Milwaukee Bucks in the 1970s, and since he was much older than...
We were so close. We were like a few years difference from getting prime Kareem and prime Magic on the same team. He was basically prime Kareem the first few years, but Magic wasn't in his prime, you know? And, you know, when Magic got into his prime, Kareem got older. We were just very, very close to seeing prime Kareem and prime Magic on the same team, which would have been even better than they already fucking were. Okay, they were already the most dominant team in the NBA when one of them at any time was not in their prime. So, yeah, if we got prime Magic and prime Kareem, it would have been unfair. Just a few years difference, we could have got it.
Magic, the prime of their careers never completely overlapped, but they were both incredible and considered as elite players in the early 1980s. These were their career numbers as teammates in Los Angeles, as both greats were always offensive threats that had to be respected. As a dynamic and dominating
That's crazy that Magic only averaged like 0.2 less rebounds than the 7-2 Kareem.
Tandem, they won 5 NBA championships together and 4 Finals MVPs between the two of them. One of the most beautiful aspects of their offensive attack is that Magic was their strength in transition, as he always loved to push the tempo, while Kareem loved to operate in half-court sets, relying heavily on his nearly unstoppable skyhook
the fast break transition
no matter which
offense,
way
and then
the
the
defense tried to contain them,
half-court
the
post
Lakers had
offense.
an answer for it, as Magic could
Amazing
dominate
combination.
with his style, or Kareem could dominate with his. In the late 80s, you could
James
definitely
Worthy.
argue that the best tandem on the Lakers was actually Magic Johnson and James Worthy.
Yeah, when Kareem got older.
Due to Kareem's slow decline in his twilight years.
Yeah.
So in a sense, 2 of their 5 championships together actually qualify as Magic and Worthy championships from the duo.
Yeah, but the first 3 isn't enough to put him this high on
in
the list
my
anyway.
opinion, this
first
aspect
3 anyway.
keeps Magic and
Insane.
Kareem from being placed any higher than 3rd on my list.
Not mad at it.
But regardless,
Let's see
they
who
were
we have.
still
The
one
top 2 definitely has to be Jordan, Pippen, Shaq, Kobe, right?
of
Just
the
curious
greatest
which way he's gonna
1-2
put them.
punches to ever do it. Number 2.
Wow. So he's gonna have MJ Pippen number 1 and Shaq Kobe number 2. Damn. All right, I disagree with that. Yeah, it just depends on how you put it. I think at their peak, Shaq and Kobe is a more unstoppable duo than Jordan and Pippen. Just because I feel like you did not know who was gonna murder you on any given night when Shaq and Kobe were both playing. Because we got this duo, I think, was the very closest we got. We got pretty dang close to a prime Shaq and prime Kobe playing together. I mean, like 01 and 02 was pretty dang close. I mean, both of them were averaging like nearly 30, and were all league defenders. Like we got closer than most people think in 01 and 02. Kobe wasn't completely in his prime, but like he was pretty damn close. Shaq was the best player in the world, and Kobe was like top 5. Yeah, I think this duo was more unstoppable at their peak than Jordan and Pippen. Obviously, Jordan and Pippen lasted longer, won more championships, so it is debatable. I do see the argument for it. I do see the argument.
Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. If you're talking about peak ability and the individual quality
Yeah, peak
of each
ability.
superstar,
That's why I picked
then
them.
it probably doesn't get any better than prime Shaquille O'Neal and a young Kobe Bryant. In their first championship run, it was clear that Shaq was the significantly better player and the more productive player.
It's 01 and
But
02
after
that I'm
first
amazed
title
by.
run, Kobe
the
took
duo.
a massive leap forward,
Right.
and the duo operated more as a Superman and Batman type of tandem. In their 8 years as teammates, they went to the NBA Finals 4 times and won 3 NBA championships, with Shaq winning all 3 Finals MVPs. The most noteworthy championship was their historic 15-1 postseason Western Conference, solidifying their
15-1
argument
is
for the
nuts.
title of the greatest team in NBA history. These were the stats of Shaq and Kobe during their time as teammates, and although Kobe got off to a relatively slow start, the meat
insane.
and potatoes of this tandem was between the years of 2000 and 2003.
Yeah.
Both of these players had the talent and the ability to be a champion.
Ain't that insane? Shaq averaged more points, but Kobe had more 40-point games. Kobe had a lot more of an explosive scorer. Shaq was more consistent.
Championship leader on their own respective teams, which is part of the reason they butted heads so much as teammates. But that's also what made them so special, as they sometimes looked like a 1A and 1B option rather than a 1 and 2.
Right.
This is my list of honorable mentions. Obviously,
Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, I mean, they won 6 championships. They're both MVPs. Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, both won back-to-back championships, both won Finals MVPs. Joe Dumars, very underrated player. He averaged like 28 points a game, and was like the best defender on the team in '89. It was nuts. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker won 4 championships, both won Finals MVPs. Karl Malone, John Stockton, yeah, one of the 2 best individual talents paired up. They just never got it done. Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, they won 1 championship together. Wilt Chamberlain wasn't in his prime. Kareem and Oscar, they won 1 championship. Moses Malone, Julius Erving, once again, they only won 1 championship, but same with Kareem and Oscar. They're both of those teams, even though they only won 1, they're considered one of the greatest teams of all time because of those big duos there. And Tim Duncan, David Robinson won 2 championships together. David Robinson was not in his prime, and yeah.
There's a lot of other greats here, and solid arguments can definitely be made in their favor. Should any?
I think he's really just glossing over Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. I think that should at least be an honorable mention. Come on, guys.
Any of these duos have made it into the
what did Steph Curry and Kevin Durant not accomplish that like Karl Malone and John Stockton did? I mean, come on now.
top 6 instead. Let me know if
I know they're not a very likable team because you don't like how they assembled, but you can't deny their basketball talent.
you believe so. Number 1, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Not mad at it.
Was
Not mad
there
at it at
ever
all.
really a question on who would get the top spot?
Sure. I thought there was, but yeah, I'm not mad at this at all. This is it's a very, it's an obvious choice.
You could argue that tandems like Shaq and
in some ways.
Kobe, LeBron and Wade, and Magic and Kareem were more talented duos. But from the perspective of consistency and how the stars complemented one another, it doesn't get any better than Jordan and Pippen. Depending on who you ask, Jordan is possibly the greatest scorer in NBA history. And although
Probably would have him there, yeah.
Pippen was never a league-leading scorer, he did
He was a good
consistently
scorer.
chip in
20
around
points per
20
game.
points per game
Yeah.
in an era where offense was much harder to come by.
And was their leading
But without
playmaker
question,
and their leading
greatest
rebounder.
strength as
Well,
a
not leading rebounder, but
duo
good
was their
rebounder.
all-time great.
And obviously, yeah, both of them. I think the main thing that made them an amazing duo was their all-time great perimeter defense. Michael Jordan's one of the greatest defenders of all time, and he wasn't even the best defender on his own team, because he got to which really helped the team out. That he got to get like second option on defense in some scenarios, with Pippen being such a good perimeter defender as well. Arguably, of course, some people say Michael Jordan better defender than Scottie Pippen. It's pretty debatable, but like the fact that that was even in consideration was really good, because Michael Jordan doesn't have to be the only main defensive guy on the team, and he can relax and mainly focus on being the greatest fucking on offense, and Pippen also being a great offensive player and especially a great playmaker, not a selfish scorer at all. Unless he wants to take the game winner instead of Tony Kukoc. Really helped the team a lot.
In their years as teammates, Jordan was first team all-defense 9 times, and Pippen was first team all-defense 6 times.
Nuts.
They were both so elite on defense that it was a genuine debate on who the better defensive player was.
Yeah, it's still a debate. Yeah, that's insane.
And please let me know in the comments who you believe is the better defender.
Yeah, leave the comment
Together,
below.
they won 6 championships in a span of 8
Jordan,
years, with Michael Jordan being the Finals MVP all 6 times. These are the career numbers of the two greats as teammates, as the two were constantly a nightmare for opposing teams.
Damn, I didn't know that. Jordan averaged more assists when they were teammates. I didn't know that. Yeah, insane.
On both ends of the court. Honestly, I expect my picks of 2 through 5 to be highly scrutinized, but personally, I don't see how anyone could disagree on the top spot on this list.
I could definitely see how you're going to say Shaq and Kobe, but that's just me. or Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. I also see a little bit of an argument for that, but that's just me.
As Jordan and Pippen remain as the model of excellence when it comes to the all-time great 1-2 punches. So what do you guys think? How does your list differ from mine?
Alright, so yeah, that was the end of that video. Great video. I thought it was a pretty good list. It made a lot of sense. I think there was some arguments to be made, I feel like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant was a big oversight on his part. And I feel like there is an argument for Shaq and Kobe as number 1, but yeah, what do you guys think? What are some other duos you think that weren't mentioned here that you thought maybe should be added? Yeah, and put your list in the comment section below, see how it differs, anything, agreements, disagreements. Yeah, go subscribe to my original NBA channel, more NBA videos here every day and twice a week on the other channel. And yeah, bye.